Good morning, day 657. Since 50 hostages have been brutally, barbarically, violently, and inhumanely were kidnapped to the hell-called Gaza by the inhumane, barbaric, rapist, modern-day Nazis, monsters, and liars of Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Mujahideen Brigade, UNRWA, and the UN, Al Jazeera. They're all complicit together with the financial support and help from Qatar, Iran, and Egypt. We are here every morning to demand from these inhumane, barbaric, rapists, modern-day Nazis, monsters to surrender and let all 50 hostages go immediately, at once. One phase, one bus. All of them together, no one is left behind, and Israel should give up nothing. This is the deal we demand. This is the only option for Jews, Christians, and Muslims in Israel can have a future, to be able to live in peace. Otherwise, Hamas stays in power and continue to hold a threat to Israelis and Gazans. The negotiations are getting closer, the demands are being more flexible. We don't have a green light yet, but I feel like it's coming soon. They're gonna sign a ceasefire agreement. I don't have all the details yet, if it will happen. Well, we'll see. I mean, many resources were saying that the deal is gonna be within a week, a few weeks ago, or this weekend, a few weeks ago, or things of that sort. We don't know. The Hamas keep changing their minds. They keep changing their terms. Now they want to do that. Now they don't want to do that. There's a lot of pressure from the negotiation countries. Not enough pressure, because if there will be a deal, they're only talking about releasing 10 alive hostages and 18 non-alive hostages in order for Israel to do a ceasefire of 60 days, and then during that ceasefire they're gonna negotiate even more about the end of the war, and then hopefully the rest of the hostages will be released. But who knows? We can't trust Hamas, so we will see. We support a deal that release all 50 hostages on the first day of ceasefire and Hamas surrender. Giving up power, giving up the delusional ideology. That's the deal we support. And if there's no agreement on that, then there's no ceasefire, and IDF must continue and eradicate the threat in Gaza. There's no starvation in Gaza. There is no starvation in Gaza. What there is exploitation of children who have some different disease or some muscles disease or whatever, because it couldn't be that the mother have been eating all the food for the children to let the children look like this, and now, oh surprise, your kid died from starvation after you ate all of its food. The amount of food that's coming out of Gaza, of what we call Hollywood, basically they are creating this false narrative for you to believe these lies. At the same time, they're posting on their social media how their restaurants and grocery stores and ice cream shops are fucking full of people and food. Also, the UN failed to distribute amount of aid that equivalent to 950 trucks. They are waiting for them to distribute. Why they not distribute this aid? Maybe they're not that hungry. Also, if they were hungry, if there was starvation, why the fuck would Hamas shoot a rocket just today from Khan Yunis towards Rafah, specifically targeting a humanitarian aid distribution center? If they're so hungry, why would they try to bomb and eliminate an aid distribution center? Because they're trying to sell this narrative that Israel is starving Gaza, while Israel have led dozens of trucks, of humanitarian aid trucks, to the Gazans, because they want to help them. They want to have a future. They want them to just give up on this delusional idea that they're gonna annihilate Israel. But Hamas and the rest of the complicit and all of their supporters in the Western world who continue repeating this lie, including people in US Congress and US Senate, about the fake starvation. Cut it out. There's no starvation. If there were, they would give us back our hostages and surrender. People in Israel want the Israel government to block the aid for coming in. They say, how is it possible? How is it possible that they're holding our people, 50 hostages, refusing to let them go, and we letting humanitarian aid go in? It's because, well, they sent a letter, a group of organization of fallen soldiers, the families of fallen soldiers requested from Bibi to stop the humanitarian aid going into Gaza, to cut off the electricity, to cut off the water. Bibi said we have to comply with with international law, which I guess the humanitarian law tells us that you have to feed your enemy, the ones who are devoting their life to annihilate you. You have to allow them to have electricity, water, and food. But we are bringing them. We are providing to them. Whatever you think of it, there is no starvation in Gaza. If there were, they would have let our people fucking go. I'm tired of this narrative. I'm tired of these people who are blindly following all of these lies coming out of Gaza, immediately rushing to blame Israel, like with the church in Gaza that wasn't targeted, like church in what was it, Jenin, I think, in Judea and Samaria, that they claimed that Israeli settlers burned to the ground. No, there was no even fire. The church still standing, and there was no even Jewish settlers that going on there. But people would use every excuse to justify the Jew hatred. And that Jew hatred led yesterday to Spanish airline company to offboard 50 children. What did they do to you? They were singing in Hebrew. Oh, poor crew members. They were singing in Hebrew, and the crew members got upset because Israel is a terrorist state, according to the resources and the eyewitnesses. That's why they called the police and got them off board, and then their escort, the chaperone, was violently arrested. French Jewish kids between the ages of 10 to 15 who were in Spain for a camp, for a summer camp, and were coming back home to France. They're not Israelis, they're just Jews. Hebrew is the language of Jews. Yes, it is also the national language in Israel. But Jews around the world speak Hebrew because it is the language. If it were Spanish kids singing in Spanish or whatever, other European kids, black kids, Muslim kids, I really doubt that they would go to the length of what they did to humiliate these children. I really hope to see a lawsuit against this airline. I want to see this airline getting bankrupt. But Spain, it's not new with Spain and the hatred for Jewish people. We've been going this for centuries. But this is the result of all of these lies, that all of these black labels. This is exactly what happened when you lie about Israel and about the war in Gaza, the just war, where Israel has been the most moral, the IDF has been the most moral military in the whole world. There's no equivalent to the length that the IDF have went to in order to protect civilian lives, in order to provide humanitarian aid to civilians and to spare their lives. Yet, these lies about us causing Jews around the world to be attacked. But also Jews in Israel are being attacked continuously. Just a few hours ago, there was we don't know yet the origin of that person, if it was an Arab Israeli or Arab from Judea and Samaria or wherever the fuck that psychopath came from, but a terrorist attack, car ramming terrorist attack near Kfar Yona. These terrorists ram people, innocent people. I mean, there were soldiers, but they are soldiers to defend Israel. There are 2 who are severely injured and 6 who are lightly injured. A total of 8 people got injured. Prayers for your speedy recovery. The law enforcement found the car abandoned near a base nearby, but the terrorist is now there. There's a manhunt, and they will catch him. We will bring everyone to justice. We will hold everyone accountable. Anyone who's trying to kill Jews will be held accountable to the full extent of our options. And we will continue to do the right thing. We will continue to stand with good against evil. We will continue to defend ourselves with whatever means necessary, and we don't give a fuck about a bad image. We will rather live, and we will continue living proudly between the Jordan River all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, in Judea and Samaria, in Jerusalem, our eternal capital, for eternity. Am Yisrael Chai, forever.